Most people believe their thoughts belong to them. They assume that what appears in their mind is the result of personal choice, identity, or free will. But what if that assumption is false? What if the thoughts you hear in your head, the opinions you defend, the fears you protect, and even the desires you chase were never truly yours to begin with? This idea is uncomfortable, not because it's complex, but because it threatens the very foundation of who you think you are. If your thoughts aren't yours, then who are you? From the moment you wake up, your mind starts talking. It comments, judges, worries, plans, remembers, and predicts. You rarely question where these thoughts come from. You just assume they originate from you. But notice something carefully. You didn't choose your first thought of the day. It simply appeared. You didn't design the emotional tone of your inner voice. It was already there. Thoughts arise spontaneously, fully formed, without your permission. If you were truly the author of your thoughts, you would be able to stop them at will. Let's try it. For the next 10 seconds, just don't think of anything. See? You can't, because the mind doesn't wait for instructions. It operates on its own momentum. This raises a disturbing question. If thoughts happen automatically, and you merely observe them, then who is actually in control? Modern neuroscience confirms something ancient philosophies have hinted at for centuries. The brain generates thoughts before our conscious awareness even detects them. By the time you hear a thought, the process that created it is already finished. In other words, your consciousness is late to the party. You experience thoughts, but you don't initiate them. This means most of what you consider you is actually a reaction to unconscious processes. Your beliefs were shaped before you could question them. Your fears were installed before you could resist them. Your values were absorbed long before you understood what values even were. Language itself entered your mind before logic did. By the time you began forming memories, the very framework of your thinking was already built. Culture, family, trauma, education, media, reward, punishment, they all left fingerprints on your mental architecture. And yet, you call the result my thoughts. But let's go deeper. Even when you believe you're thinking independently, you're usually just recycling familiar patterns. The same worries, the same internal arguments, the same emotional loops. The mind prefers repetition because repetition feels safe. True, original thought is incredibly rare. Most of our thinking is just imitation. Your opinions are often borrowed. Your identity is assembled from pieces. Your worldview is inherited. This doesn't mean there's some grand conspiracy controlling every thought. It means the system is far more subtle. Control doesn't require force when conditioning is enough. A mind that believes it's free is the easiest mind to guide. Consider how often your thoughts follow predictable emotional triggers. Fear produces a certain set of thoughts. Desire produces others. Anger has its own script. Guilt has its own voice. These patterns repeat across millions of minds. Different faces, same mental programs. If thoughts were truly personal, they would be unpredictable and unique. But they're not. They follow formulas. This is why advertising works. It's why propaganda works. It's why fear spreads faster than truth. Because the mind is not a blank canvas. It's a conditioned machine. And machines respond to input. But here is where it becomes even more unsettling. Even the voice you call me, the internal narrator, the sense of identity observing the mind that is itself another construct. That voice is not consciousness. It's a story that consciousness tells itself. You are not the voice in your head. You are the awareness listening to it. This distinction changes everything. Because once you realize you are not your thoughts, their power over you begins to weaken. A thought can only control you if you believe it is you. The moment you step back and simply observe it, it loses its authority. This is why moments of pure silence can feel so uncomfortable. In silence, the identity we've built starts to dissolve. And the ego panics. The ego is built entirely from thought. Remove thought, and the ego disappears. That's why distractions are so addictive. Why there's constant noise in our lives. Why true silence feels threatening. Silence exposes the truth, that the self you so fiercely defend is just a mental construction. Now, consider this carefully. If your thoughts are not yours, but you can observe them, then something deeper must exist beneath all that mental chatter. Something untouched. Something that came before. This awareness doesn't speak. It doesn't judge. It doesn't fear. It simply notices. It was there when your thoughts changed over the years. It was there when your beliefs evolved. It was there before your very first memory. And it will remain when all thoughts eventually stop. This awareness is not programmed. It's not conditioned. It doesn't belong to the system. It is the only part of you that has never been influenced. And because of that, it is the most dangerous thing you possess. A mind that identifies with thought is predictable and controllable. A mind that observes thought becomes free. This is why most systems in our world discourage self-observation. They promote constant thinking, constant reacting, constant identification. Because awareness breaks patterns. Once you see how thoughts arise, you stop obeying them automatically. Fear loses its grip. Desire loses its urgency. The illusion of control weakens. This isn't about achieving some mystical enlightenment. It's about clarity. And clarity is disruptive. The realization that your thoughts are not yours isn't meant to make you passive. It's meant to return authorship where it truly belongs. Not to the conditioned mind, but to the awareness behind it. You can't stop thoughts from appearing, but you can choose which ones to follow, which ones to believe, and which ones to simply let go. And that choice is the only real freedom there is. Everything else is an illusion. The illusion of control, the illusion of identity, the illusion of ownership. Thoughts will continue to rise and fall. Stories will come and go. But once you see them for what they are, just mental events passing through, they can no longer define you. You are not your fear. You are not your past. You are not the voice narrating your life. You are the silent, aware space in which all of that appears. And that space has always been and will always be free. Thanks for watching. If this idea resonated with you, consider subscribing for more content that challenges the way you see yourself and the world.